Welcome to Living Healthy and Aging Well. My name is Ken Haglind, and we are broadcasting from the AM 950 radio station that overlooks beautiful Bryant Lake Regional Park, located in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. It is another gorgeous day here in the Twin Cities, and I am so grateful to be here with you today. And I hope all of you listening are doing well. We are on the air every Saturday from noon to 1 to talk about your health and your life. We cover a wide range of topics to help you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. We have another great show for you today. Joining me in a few minutes will be John Burkhow. He is the Director of Home and Tech Services at Senior Community Services, and he is here to discuss the ways his organization helps many older adults stay in their own homes and communities as they age. Community organizations like Senior Community Services are providing extra support by completing tasks like yard work, cleaning, and even technology coaching to help older adults stay independent and connected to their communities. You'll enjoy listening to my conversation today with John Burkhow. I want to thank all of you that leave us messages on our radio show phone line. We appreciate hearing from you, and we welcome your comments, questions, and topics for future shows. Also, if you are interested in being a guest on our radio show, please call or text us at 612-999-3426. You can also contact us on our website at livinghealthyradio.com. There you can find information about upcoming guests as well as listen to our previous shows, and we look forward to hearing from you. We are adding new listeners to the show each week, not only here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota, but also throughout the country. You can find podcasts for all of our radio shows on the AM 950 radio website, and we can also be found on your favorite streaming services such as iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and many others. You can also watch our broadcast live on the radio station's Facebook page at AM 950 Radio and on YouTube at AM 950. If you have a question for us today, there are two ways to reach us. First, by calling the AM 950 radio station, and our friendly show engineer, Adam, will get your call on the air. Our phone number is 952-946-6205. Once again, 952-946-6205. Or you can directly text us your questions at 612-999-3426. Now, don't worry. If you missed our contact numbers, I'll repeat them throughout the show. All right, I'm excited to welcome my guest for today's show, John Burkhow, Director of Home and Tech Services at Senior Community Services. Welcome to the show, John.
Thank you very much for having me today.
All right, fantastic. All right, well, before we begin, let's talk just a bit about you. The audience loves to know a little bit about the guests that come on our show. Just give us a brief background on how you got into this world and got into this area of service and ended up working with Senior Community Services.
Yeah, so I grew up in Albert Lea, Minnesota, a couple hours south here of the Twin Cities. Went to Gustavus Adolphus College in St. Peter. After I graduated, I came to the Twin Cities. And then I saw an ad in a newspaper for a handyman for a nonprofit called Neighborhood Involvement Program, working with older adults. And I'd always, had a great relationship with my grandparents and kind of had a special place in my heart for older adults. And I thought, well, hey, I'll give that a try. So I went out and spent several years, doing repairs at people's homes and shoveling snow and mowing grass and all sorts of other things that people needed help with. And then eventually, Neighborhood Involvement Program was acquired by Senior Community Services, and then I moved into more of an administrative role, and now I'm the director of the home and technology programs there. So I just celebrated 10 years with Senior Community Services, but prior to that I was with the Neighborhood Involvement Program for about 15 years. So it's been about 25 years or so I've been working with older adults.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That's great. Aren't they so grateful?
Yeah, I mean, it's really just, I look at it as a privilege. I mean, as we get older, sometimes we need help with things. We Minnesotans are proud, and sometimes it's hard to admit that we need help. And people feel sometimes a little sheepish when they call, like, "Oh, I need help with this." And I said, "Well, actually, you're being very proactive in taking charge of your situation and your life, and you're reaching out and getting the help that you need to stay in your home. So that's a positive thing. But when people often call, they look at it as maybe a negative thing in their mind that they have to ask for help.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
I just, in the professions that you and I are in, we want people to reach out.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it's a call to action. Just let us know if we can help. I think the other side of Minnesotans is that we are so willing to help.
Oh, for sure.
Isn't that something? How I mean, this state is very amazing in terms of its constituents. That they don't want to ask for help, but boy, they're sure willing to give it.
Yeah, I mean, we have hundreds of volunteers a year that go to. Often it's groups, business groups, school
Yeah.
groups. We have a lot of individual volunteers, and a lot of them are older themselves, and they'll go to a home of an older adult and help them with all sorts of things. But it's really cool to see the relationships and sometimes even the friendships that develop through that. As you get older, and especially if you lose your ability to drive, you can be pretty isolated in your home, and you might not get a lot of visitors. Depends on if you have family or friends nearby, but it can be kind of isolating. And there's lots of studies that have been done about how, if you're isolated and you're not in a lot of contact with people, it actually affects your physical health. So, we like going out and doing the work, but more than that, we like meeting people and forming those relationships.
Yeah. That, John, that is so true. The isolation, loneliness, and boredom is just what is devastating for people, both health-wise and studies have shown longevity-wise. It's nice to have something to look forward to. So if someone's going to come once a month or once every couple of weeks to do something for you, it gives you something to look forward to and gives you that hope. And that's so important. And you're right, it's the relationships.
Yeah, it was really highlighted for us during the pandemic. People who
yeah.
were isolated before, and then when the pandemic, came along, and a lot of older adults, especially, I don't want to generalize, but I think it's somewhat true that people in their 70s and 80s, they didn't grow up with technology. Like my children could learn work their way around an iPad when they were 4 or 5 years old. But if you didn't grow up with that technology, and then all of a sudden the pandemic hits, and boy, everyone was super isolated then. I mean, if you didn't have good connections to the outside world via cell phones or Facebook or chatting apps or whatever it
Right.
might be, FaceTime, where you could communicate with people. So if you're an older adult and you didn't have those technology skills, boy, you were really, really isolated. And we saw a lot of that just really affecting people profoundly.
Oh yeah. Right. From older adults to children in school. I mean,
Right.
we were kind of seeing a lot of the repercussions of that even now as some of the kids are going through getting close to juniors and seniors in high school and talking to school administrators and counselors are saying, boy, we can tell this group, it just really was affected much more by the pandemic than other grades have been. So, yeah, and I agree with you. We see that all the time in our profession. Unfortunately, people just, when they start losing that ability to be mobile, whether it's even driving or walking, it just really shrinks their world down. And so the services you guys offer are just so profound, so important in keeping people connected, but also keeping them independent.
Yeah, for sure. We really had really good timing in hindsight that we started our technology service right before the pandemic hit. And so it kind of exploded during the pandemic. Our model is a little unique. There's a lot of, if you want help with something, now most people go to YouTube or they'll look it up online. But if you don't have the ability to look it up online, well, then what do you do, right? So our technology service is both in-home and at community settings. We have several technology clinics, a lot of them at senior centers. And what our model is a little bit different is that we offer one-on-one personal help. So people will make appointments to come to one of the technology clinics, half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, and they'll work one-on-one with a technology coach. The same thing happens for in-home, which is a huge thing. It's hard to get, services in your home, especially technology help. I think we're the only organization that I know of that's doing it here in Hennepin County and the Twin Cities. But that individualized help, and then we offer some classes and other things as well. But a lot of our technology coaches are also older adults. So we found that, that peer-to-peer technology coaching is super helpful, because when you're doing it with your peers, you kind of have an innate sense of how to do it and how to pace it and the terminology. And I often compare it to a language, right? Yeah. And when the kids come and help, and that's great to have the younger people help, but they're fluent in technology, so they tend to speak really fast. It's like if I went to Japan and I was trying to understand and someone's speaking super fast, I'm like, wait, slow down, you're losing me. And as an older adult, if you don't have that technology vocabulary, then it's sometimes hard to keep up. So we've really found it super successful to have that peer-to-peer technology coaching. I think our model's fairly unique on that.
Boy, it sure is. Well, we're at the end of the first segment, John.
Oh, that went by so fast.
I know. So hold those thoughts there. I have some questions for you on that. But I want to let everyone know we'll be right back. It's time for a short break, and we will continue our conversation with John Burkhow, Director of Home and Tech Services at Senior Community Services. He's here to share how his organization helps older adults age in place. If you have a question for us, please feel free to give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
When was the last time you had your roof inspected for extreme weather and hail damage? This is Chad, owner of AM 950, to talk about the exterior construction company I trust, Snap Construction. If you've noticed new roofing projects in your neighborhood, your home was likely hit by hail last summer and experienced damage. Snap Construction is helping homeowners like you, and they're the roofing specialists I trust. They are the most well-reviewed contractor in the Twin Cities and have a ton of positive customer reviews from homeowners just like you. Even better, Snap Construction's installations are backed by a lifetime warranty, so you know you're dealing with a qualified roofing expert. You want to work with a company that will be here for a long time after the work is done. Snap Construction has handled thousands of claims and will help you through the process. Do yourself a favor and get a free roofing inspection so you have the facts and peace of mind you deserve. Call Snap Construction today at 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP. Or visit snapconstruction.com.
End-of-life decisions are not easy to make. Hi, I'm Mary T. of Mary T. Hospice Care. It's important to make sure that this difficult time is meaningful and comforting to you and your loved ones. Our hospice team provides an individualized program of physical, emotional, spiritual, and practical care so your loved one is comfortable and not in pain. At Mary T. Hospice, we understand that choosing the right hospice care provider can be overwhelming, but we're here to assist you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
Hi, I'm Peter Solak.
And I'm Adam Ostrowski.
We are here at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces to talk about the joy of live fire cooking. Cooking over a live fire is the oldest and most basic form of cooking.
What's new is in the way fire is handled and its heat is managed.
It's easier to experience and enjoy the smell and taste of food cooked over a live fire.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces sells and installs live fire grills, fire pits, and ovens. Let us help you experience the smell, the taste, the fun of cooking with fire.
Pizza was first made and is still best made in an open fire oven. The radiant and conductive heat of a live fire is unmatched for wood roasting and baking artisan breads too.
Come see the many ways you can cook over a live fire.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has over 35 working wood and gas units on display at the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis. More information at woodlandstoves.com. Find the fire that works for you. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. Out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
Why must the world be so cold? They've gone against what was told. Thinking rape is cool? Think about it. They think it's not wrong. Violence against women, the rape, the abuse, the emotional, physical, they all hold the hate. Think about it. Is it right or wrong? What attracts you? I'm not saying no names, but you laugh. Talk about it like nothing is wrong. Think about it. They all hold the hate. Gotta stop the violence. Stop the hate. Think about it.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today live in the AM 950 station is John Burkhow, who's the Director of Home and Tech Services at Senior Community Services. And he is sharing how his organization helps older adults age in place, which is so important to keep that quality of life up for people that are aging. And John, how can our listeners contact you and your organization if they have questions or would like more information?
Yeah, so the best way to get information, obviously, is to go to our website, seniorcommunity.org. But I will give out a couple phone numbers as well. So if you want to reach the home program, and we do our best to answer the phone live, which is kind of a rarity, it seems like these days.
True.
But that number is 952-746-4046. And then we also, which we haven't talked about yet, but I'm sure we'll have a conversation about this, is our senior outreach team, who offers caregiver support and help finding resources. And their number is 612-770-7005. So those are the two phone numbers where you can reach the programs directly. But if you're online, obviously the website is probably the best place.
Mm-hmm. And that's Senior Community, one word, seniorcommunity.org.
Yep.
All right, and we'll give those numbers out throughout the show. So if you missed them, folks, we'll have them throughout the show. Well, you have an amazing organization history. The longest, let's see, you're actually the second longest organization that's been on our radio show.
Oh, wow.
In the 7 years. So I had a funeral home.
Okay.
That started 143 years ago.
Oh, wow. That's
right
crazy.
After the state formed, the first thing that was formed was a funeral home.
Okay. Well, I guess it's a necessity, right? Unfortunately.
Right. So it was tough getting started here when the state was started. So, but anyway, it's tell us a little bit about the background. I mean, it's really you shared with me some of the things before the show started, but tell the audience about this amazing history that you guys have at Senior Community Services.
Yeah, so we're celebrating 75 years this year, and we're having a party at the Medina Entertainment Center, and everybody who is listening is welcome to attend. It'll be on May 15th at start about 5:30, and it's on our website as well. So we'd like to play with the numbers, so it's May 15th, 2025, and we're celebrating 75 years. So we're really looking forward to that, introducing our new CEO as well at that event. But yeah, we've been around for 75 years. We started way back when, working with a lot of different senior centers. So we had a rich history there. Actually started several of the senior centers here in the Twin Cities metro area.
Really? That was you guys?
Yeah, and we were involved in transportation for a while and several other endeavors. But now we primarily work with the home program, helping people with maintenance and chores around their home. And then we have a team of licensed social workers, and we provide a lot of support, helping people get connected to resources. But I think the big one is caregiver support. We have several caregiver support groups. We have an online tool called CareNection, where you can form your own care team for an older loved one, and just a lot of resources and really a lot of expertise around caregiving. I think for myself personally, I was a caretaker for my father, who passed away a little over a year ago from Parkinson's. Mm-hmm. So I've had that journey, and I think often caregivers, when you're in the midst of that, you can kind of get overwhelmed, right? Like, oh man, this is a lot, and if I need help, who do I go to? And it'd really be nice to have someone to talk to. And so I think our caregiver support groups and our caregiver services are so needed. And a lot of times people are doing the caregiving and they don't even kind of recognize kind of the burnout that's happening. And if you're not in a good place yourself as a caregiver, well, how can you provide care to someone else? So I think a lot of people it kind of builds up over time, and then they just kind of crash. So it's so important for caregivers to get that support. And there's just hundreds, if not thousands, of informal caregivers. Well, you know that.
Yeah.
Throughout Minnesota, and we provide such valuable service to our loved ones and our families, but we do need support as caregivers too.
Yes. I think one of the biggest trends that we're seeing is caregiver burnout. It's so interesting. Human nature, we've learned, thinks that the struggles that we're going through, it's only us. We're the only ones going through the struggle.
Right.
That's one of the great things about the social media, is that it connects people and says, you know what, you're not alone. And again, we're here to help. And so, the mission of this radio show is to connect people, the needs and the resources in our communities, so that people don't feel alone and don't feel like they can't reach out.
Yeah. Well, and the demographics, there's so many, all the baby boomers are turning older now. And so it's kind of like this big wave. And a lot of people maybe look at it as a negative thing. Oh, there's so many people, and what are we going to do? But, we're all in this together. We're all getting older. Everyone gets older. Hopefully everyone ages, to a ripe old age. And we're all in this together. And I think there can be a lot of negative stereotypes around getting older. We're kind of a youthful, focused nation and culture here, right? And, some different cultures maybe lift up their elders more than we do, perhaps. But it's really a privilege and an honor to grow older. But, organizations like ours are great, but we're going to need the help of the community and everyone to help care for each other as we all get older. A lot of the caregivers we work with, they're caregiving for their spouse or maybe a sister or a brother. So a lot of the caregivers themselves are also older adults. And it can, be really challenging, but it's so needed and so vital.
Yeah, it is. Well, and just the recognition that at the end of the day, we're all just walking each other home. And I think as we age, and this baby boom generation, they are looking for that meaning too. They're looking for, how can I make a difference in someone's life? And then what are the organizations that I can be a part of that will do that? I mean, if you step back and you say, well, there's like three major areas of a person's life where your first 30 years you're learning, the next 30 you earn, and the next 30 you return. And I think we're seeing a lot of people in that baby boom generation learned, earned, and now they want to return. They want to pass that on. And as we talked in the first segment, how we just have an epidemic of loneliness and of isolation. And yet we're the most connected society in history.
Right.
But isn't that something? Anyway, we'll continue our conversation after the break here, John. Okay. It's time for a short break, folks. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with John Burkhow, Director of Home and Tech Services at Senior Community Services. And he is here sharing how his organization helps older adults age in place. If you have a question for John, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
The Park Tavern in St. Louis Park is the perfect place for fun. Their bowling lanes are a blast. Their full menu is amazing. Burgers, tacos, wings, sliders, pizza, dinners, and more. Or try their weekend breakfast menu. Enjoy all the games on their numerous TVs while enjoying their drink menu and happy hour specials. And the patio is open to enjoy the warmer months, and even when it's not too warm, they've got heaters and curtains. On Louisiana Avenue north of Highway 7 in St. Louis Park, your next get-together with friends or family will be great at the Park Tavern.
This is Andy Otto, your host of Twin Cities Pride Amplified, inviting you to join us this Saturday at 3 p.m. as we talk to Dr. Kate Getford, Chief Education Officer and Medical Director of the Gender Health Program at Children's Minnesota. We'll talk to Dr. Getford about what it's been like in their world managing disinformation regarding gender-affirming care, and that there is hope on the horizon. Join us this Saturday at 3 p.m. right here on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Hello, everyone. I am Becky McMahon, host of Feels Out Loud, brought to you by Becoming Together Therapy and Wellness. This Sunday, tune in as we talk through how emotions are stored in our bodies and the physical and mental impact of this. If you have a question to share, visit our website at www.becomingtogethermn.com to find the Feels Out Loud page. We may share your question on the show. Join us at 9 a.m. to live and share mental health together.
Hi, Hi, my name is Katty from Minnesota Recovery Connection.
And I'm Erin with Minnesota Recovery Connection.
We'd like you to listen to our show, Redefining Recovery, a Recovery Revolution. It is on Saturdays at 10 a.m. on AM 950.
On the show, we discuss topics about addiction, understanding substance use disorder, the many pathways to recovery, and finding your personal journey.
Listen to Redefining Recovery Saturdays at 10 a.m. and find our podcast on your favorite app.
Hey, it's Tom. As the birds begin to sing and the days grow longer, there's no better time to spring into savings than now with All Energy Solar. Spring is perfect for home improvements, so why not choose a project that saves you money and helps create a cleaner, greener planet? While solar panels require an initial investment, the savings on your energy bills quickly add up. With a lifespan of at least 25 years, your system from All Energy Solar can save you tens of thousands of dollars over time. Act now and you can still take advantage of the 30% federal tax credit. Plus, you may qualify for additional incentives depending on where you live. The future is uncertain, but with solar energy, you can lock in your energy rates for years to come. With All Energy Solar's experience and expertise, they'll guide you toward a greener future and unlock the full potential of solar power. Take the first step toward energy independence and a greener future. Get a free consultation today at allenergysolar.com. That's allenergysolar.com.
With your AM 950 forecast, this is Adam. For today, mostly sunny skies, a high of 62. Tonight, cloudy, a low of 49. The Great Wall Restaurant, specializing in Szechuan and Mandarin cuisine, have menu favorites such as hot and sour soup, pan-fried dumplings, sesame chicken, and so much more. Conveniently located at 4515 France Avenue South at the intersection of West 45th Street and France Avenue. For takeout, call 952-927-4439.
AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Saturday. Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is John Burkhow, who is the Director of Home and Tech Services, valuable things that people need at the organization called Senior Community Services. And he has been sharing and will continue to share how his organization helps older adults age in place. Before we return to our conversation, I want to mention this radio show is brought to you in part each week by Minnesota Hospice. Minnesota Hospice is an independent, locally owned medical practice serving our Twin Cities communities with comprehensive end-of-life health care. The team at Minnesota Hospice provides patients and family members with award-winning end-of-life healthcare services. You may not be aware that hospice brings compassionate medical, social, emotional, and spiritual services to your home with typically no cost to you or your family. Please do not wait to learn how hospice care can benefit you and your loved ones. If you have any questions regarding end-of-life care or support, please contact the compassionate team of experts at Minnesota Hospice. They are available to answer your questions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 952-898-1022. Once again, 952-898-1022, or simply visit them online at minnesotahospice.com. All right, let's get back into our conversation with John Burkhow. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. John, how can our listeners contact your organization if they have questions or want more information?
Yeah, the best way would be to go on our website, seniorcommunity.org. If you want help with home services, I know the grass is starting to turn green and it's popping, as they say. We've gotten some warm weather and some rain. The home program is 952-746-4046. And that caregiver support that we were talking about earlier, or if you just need help finding resources for your loved one as they're getting older and you kind of don't know who to call or where to go, you can reach them at 612-770-7005.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And great website. Boy, it's chock full of information. I really encourage people to go look at the website, seniorcommunity.org. You've got a big event coming up here. Let's remind the audience about that.
Yeah, May 15th at the Medina Entertainment Center. We're having a party, so we'd like you to come. We have a somewhat, I guess, ambitious goal for us is that we're trying to raise $75,000 up to and at that event. And I think last I checked, we were just over 50,000. So, we thought, well, if we're turning 75, we should try to raise 75,000. I mean, it makes sense, right? But, of course, we rely heavily on donations and, involvement of time to keep our organization going. So it's a great opportunity to come and have a party with us. We're going to have some, you can do some gambling, and basically, you have some what we call funny money, and there'll be casino tables, and you can win money to put in the raffle drawings. So it'll be a real fun event. We're having live music. And we hope to see you there. It'll be a lot of fun.
Well, the Medina Entertainment Center is fantastic. It's a great place.
Sure.
That is a great place to hold that. And so people can go on the website. They can hit the Donate Now button.
Right.
And they can make either a resource donation. They can make time donation. You guys have an amazing amount of volunteers that are part of your. How many volunteers do you guys have in a given year?
Well, just speaking for the home program, we have a couple thousand, but we probably won't have time to go into it too much on this segment. We also have a couple senior centers that we run, and we have hundreds of volunteers coming through there as well. But it's really simple to volunteer. You just go to our website. You can just submit a form online. We get a lot of individual volunteers who if you enjoy gardening or you enjoy mowing and you want to go do it for someone, in your neighborhood or community. We get a lot of groups, business groups, really like doing raking and spring cleanup because they can get out of the office on a nice Friday afternoon or a day like today.
Yeah.
They can go out and rake with their coworkers, and it's a real great team building opportunity. If you're a handy person, you can fix things. We have a lot of need for that, going into homes and doing little plumbing or carpentry or electrical work. Just a lot of different ways to get involved. And if you like being outside, it's a great volunteer opportunity. The nice thing is you can kind of set your own schedule. You can help as many, like our handy people who will do chores. They can volunteer for 1 job a week or 5 jobs a week, and then they coordinate directly with the older adults. So you handle your own scheduling of when you're going to go to the homes. And the volunteer groups who come out, they'll say, well, we want to volunteer on June 15th from 1 to 4. And then we'll call the older adults and line them up for that day. So it's super flexible. That's what a lot of people like about it. But again, it's just a great opportunity to get out and meet, older adults in your community. Sometimes I think neighborhoods nowadays, we kind of all of us, right, kind of don't know our neighbors as well as we should,
That's
perhaps.
So true. So
but,
true.
That community part of our name, that's what we're all about, getting out in the community and meeting people and just giving them a little bit of help.
Wow, that's fantastic. And I just want to mention that senior audience that you guys support are so grateful. They are so appreciative. It makes such a difference to them just to know that they're cared. Their community is there to help support them. Many people in the Twin Cities grew up in greater Minnesota or rural Minnesota in a small town. Some of these people I've talked to over the years, they had 45 people in the town. I mean, it's a small farming town, and they end up coming to the Twin Cities or any large metropolitan area, and it is kind of a change for them. And I think this really just kind of brings us back to our roots in just reaching out and helping each other. And like you say, not only is it great service, but you guys, help prevent accidents from happening, fixing things. Just even walking in a home, you realize this person has, trip hazards, or there's extension cords all over the place, or whatever. You guys are, have an eye for that. And I think that's so important that for older, for children who have adults can reach out and say, hey, just, I was transferred. I'm now working in, New York. Can someone, help my parent with this or that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great way to connect.
Yeah, we do free safety checks. So I've actually done hundreds of those myself. And, you get, as you've lived in your house for 30, 40 years, it gets used to a certain way of doing things. And I was on a safety check one time, and, the person there had used this little, 3-step step stool to get up so that they could pull a chain on a ceiling light and a ceiling fan,
Right.
And we said, well, if you're going up on a step stool, as soon as you get off the ground, you become more precarious and you might fall. And I said, well, why don't you go to Menards and get one of these little pull chain extenders, and they have all these cute little animals you can put on the end of it, and just extend it down a couple of feet so that you can pull it from the floor. And it just had never occurred to the person, right? Because you just get so used to doing a way of doing things, and they're like, well, that's a great idea. I'm going to do that. But we work a lot on lighting, just advising people, to avoid tripping and falling, because especially as an older adult, it can be so devastating to have a fall. Oh. And I forget the percentages, but like once you're over 65, it's like, up a third to up a half of people will have a fall during a year.
Yep.
And those that have experienced it and hopefully come out the other side of it okay, it can be really debilitating. So I think our safety checks are great. They're very preventative, and people just have to be aware. The time when you're most at risk is when you're in a transition area, going in and out of your home, in the bathroom, and going up and down the hallways. A lot of these older homes, the hallways weren't well lit. Right. So you're going down the steps, you're a little off balance, the lighting's not great, maybe you left some things on the step, and that's when people have these falls, when they're in these areas of transition. So we work really hard to make sure that people stay safe, give them tips on carrying things. Don't carry them up high, don't block your side of view, don't carry your bag of groceries up in front of your face so you can't see, put your arms down at your sides and hold it down there. Then if you start to lose your balance, you can just drop it. So little tips that we give people when we do the safety checks that I think can be really helpful. But yeah, prevention is the name of the game. You don't want to have a fall for sure.
Boy, that just changes your trajectory.
Yeah.
I think that's so important. You made a good point. We're just such creatures of habit.
Yes.
Habits are so powerful,
yeah,
both good and bad. And I think you're right. People just don't realize something so simple that you guys would recognize right away, that they just have been putting up with for years and don't realize the risk they're taking by not having someone come in and just do that. Now, I'm getting texts here. How much does your services cost?
Okay, well, that's the great thing about our services. We are a nonprofit, so people pay on a sliding fee scale, which is a technical way of saying we offer discounts based on income.
Yeah.
And we don't turn people away for inability to pay, so we'll work with people to make it affordable. But our top rates for some of our services that people choose to pay are still well below market rates.
Yeah.
We do so much work also with volunteers, but yeah, we make everything affordable. So don't worry I know a lot of people are on fixed incomes, and we all know the cost of gas and groceries and everything else has gotten kind of crazy. Yeah. But we can certainly provide maintenance and help around the home at a very, very affordable price. And people just donate what they can, basically, but we give suggestions for, if you have this much income a month, consider this amount. But again, we have flexibility in all of that. So I would say the majority of our folks have some sort of discounted rate or no cost for services.
Boy, it's such a great service to be able to keep people in their homes, to keep them independent. People have many times lived in the home for decades.
Oh, for sure.
Many times it was their parents' home, and there's just so many memories. There's so much familiarity, the neighbors, the location. I think it's just a great service you guys are doing to help people stay connected and stay in their homes.
Yeah, and people, they make choices as they get older, but the majority of people, I think, want to stay in their homes for as long as they can. Sometimes you make the decision you're going to downsize and move to a condo or a townhome or something like that, but I think a lot of people, they want to stay in their homes and their communities, and they just need a little bit of extra help.
Yeah.
And if they get the help, then they can stay there.
It's amazing how you can prolong that for years at times, just to be able to get the grass cut and shovel in the driveway, the sidewalk, just letting people get access to the mail. It's little things like that make such a big difference.
Yeah, even some cleaning help will come in a couple times a month for like 2 hours, and we'll do like the laundry or maybe
huge.
Cleaning the floors or things that are physically harder to do. But again, if you're carrying a laundry basket down the stairs, that's when you're at risk, right? And so we help with those sorts of chores. But even that 4 hours a month makes such a huge difference. And and then you're seeing the same person, month after month, and you get to know each other, and there's friendships that form. So it's super valuable.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. And on your website, it says last year over 2,000 people volunteered for 24,000 hours.
Yep.
That is amazing. The inertia and momentum you guys have in the communities.
Yes.
That's wonderful. All right, folks, it's time for a short break. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with John Burkhow. Director of Home and Tech Services at Senior Community Services. And he's here sharing how his organization helps older adults age in place. If you have a question for John, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
All right, everybody in the car, let's go.
What are we gonna do first when we get there, Mom? Go for a hike?
Sure.
What about canoeing? Can we go canoeing too?
I don't see why.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
It's not that far, sweetie.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
Already?
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
It's no secret that medical care costs are soaring, with nursing home and skilled nursing care costs being some of the highest. You don't have to deplete your savings in order to receive long-term care. At Schroman Law, we work with families to develop and implement strategic planning for medical assistance for long-term care, for assisted living, nursing home care, or home-based care. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation at schromenlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
End-of-life decisions are not easy to make. Hi, I'm Mary T. of Mary T. Hospice Care. It's important to make sure that this difficult time is meaningful and comforting to you and your loved ones. Our hospice team provides an individualized program of physical, emotional, spiritual, and practical care so your loved one is comfortable and not in pain. At Mary T. Hospice, we understand that choosing the right hospice care provider can be overwhelming, but we're here to assist you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
Hi, I'm Philip Anthony, host of the Downright Upright Show, airing right here on AM 950 radio, Saturdays at 5 p.m. Join me as I dive into captivating conversations with people from all walks of life. As a proud member of the LGBTQ community, I celebrate diversity and beyond with unique stories that make us fantabulous. Please join me every Saturday at 5 p.m. or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Thanks for listening to my show, The Matt McNeil Show, 3 to 5 p.m. weekdays right here on AM 950. Every day we wonder the Trump moldy meat market deli case of horror. We can at least do it together. Connect with me on my main social media pages. Look for me under The Matt McNeil Show on Blue Sky and Mastodon. On Facebook, it's Progressive Citizen X Matt McNeil Show. And on Threads, it's Matthew McNeil 1. We'll get through the next 4 years with lots of counseling, animal videos, and constant supply of sweets. It's The Matt McNeil Show, 3 to 5 p.m. weekday afternoons on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Brush up on your creativity at Twin Cities Pride's Paint by Numbers Night Out. Join the fun on Saturday, April 26th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the Pride Cultural Arts Center. Whether you're a seasoned artist or can barely draw a stick figure, this is your chance to relax, paint, and connect with your community. For just $35, you'll get a Paint by Numbers kit, light refreshments, and a fun, relaxed space to let your inner artist shine. Come solo or bring a friend. Everyone's welcome. More info at tcpride.org. That's tcpride.org.
All right, welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is John Burkhow. He is an amazing, amazing person, and he is the Director of Home and Tech Services at Senior Community Services, and he is sharing how his organization helps older adults age in place. Now, many adults want to stay in their own homes and communities as they age and need just a little extra support to do so. Community organizations like Senior Community Services are providing this extra support by completing tasks like yard work, cleaning, and even technology coaching, which we could all use to help older adults stay independent and connected to their communities. If you have a question for us, give us a call, 952-946-6205, or you can text us your question at 612-999-3426. John, how can our listeners contact your organization if they have questions or want more information?
I think the best way is the website, seniorcommunity.org. And I gave out a few phone numbers earlier. I can give them out one more time. But the home program is 952-746-4046. And our caregiver support and senior outreach team, which basically can also help you find resources for yourself or for your loved ones as you're caregiving or just looking for additional services as you get older. That number is 612-770-7005.
All right. And you are a 501(c) tax-deductible organization.
That's right.
And so I want to encourage people, look at your website. It's very easy to donate both resources and time.
Yes, for sure.
And you guys it's amazing how many volunteers you guys have. It's you've been around for 75 years, and you're celebrating that next month at the Medina Entertainment Center.
That's right, May 15th.
May 15th. What a great day. And what day of the week is that?
I believe it's a Thursday.
Thursday. Okay.
Yeah.
So mark that on your calendars, folks. What a great event. There's going to be live music. You're going to have casino type games and events and things.
Food.
Food. Yeah, a lot of great and
beverages.
Yeah, and great people. Great people
for sure.
that love to help others. And
yes.
what a great time. And let's do what we can to support senior communities services and get out there and you're looking to raise some money.
Yep, we are.
And you're already very much towards your goal of 75,000. You're over 50,000 so far.
Yep.
So every little bit helps, folks.
Yeah, we only have a couple weeks left though, so we're hoping we'll make our goal.
Well, I sure hope you do too, because the services you provide are just priceless. Again, keeping people in their homes, helping them stay safe, helping them just remain proud of the home that they're in. And again, there's just so many things. And just the fact that they can look forward to seeing somebody, a volunteer that gets to develop a relationship with them that may be coming in once a month or every couple of weeks or whatever the schedule is that works for them and the volunteers. So I think if we could just in the last couple of minutes here, last few minutes, is just talk about that home program. You got that senior outreach team, just to make sure people understand what those programs entail.
Yeah, so if you're an older adult, 60 or older, and you need some help with maintenance around the home, or you want to get some assistance and learn some new things with technology, that's what the home program is all about. Like I said, we're sending groups out to do spring yard cleanups. We're getting ready for our mowing season. A lot of repairs that happen during the summer. If you're an older adult or caring for an older adult and you just I need more resources. I don't know what to do. What do? I want some meals delivered, or I want some, home health care brought in, or I need help with finances, wherever it might be. That's what our senior outreach team does. Just gets people connected. They're experts in, the suburbs that they work in. They're divided into different cities here in the metro area, and they're all experts on the resources in their area. We have our several caregiver support groups in many, many cities that meet. That's all detailed on our website. I would encourage you, if you're going it alone, which a lot of people do when they're doing the caregiving, and we talk about the sandwich generation, which I found myself in. You got the kids at home, you got the older adults you're trying to help, and life is stressful enough, and then the caregiving is such an important thing, and you want to be able to do it, but you have to do it in a healthy way. And talking to others who are going through that same situation is so valuable. And our licensed social workers lead these groups, and they know what to do, and they know. And I've heard such positive things about people, decided to join a group of people going through the same thing you are.
Right, and there's tips and tricks and all kinds of great help that not only your great people that run those groups, these licensed social workers, which is phenomenal to have somebody at a professional level like that help facilitate these. But again, you just develop so much great friendships, and again, you're not alone in the things that you're struggling with. Everybody's doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's really, it's so important to have that support of other people who are going through the same thing. And, you want to be there. It's such an important thing. I think anybody who's, been a caregiver, and I'm sure several people, or if not hundreds listening right now, you've been in that situation where you're caring for someone, and you wouldn't trade it for the world, right? But it's not easy. Let's be honest. It's hard sometimes. It's emotionally draining. It's physically draining. And again, if you're new to that space, you just like, well, what do I do next? And how do I get help for this? And gee, I'm feeling kind of frustrated. And what do I do now? And it can get kind of overwhelming. So I would really encourage you, if you're listening and you find yourself in that place, you know, I've been doing this and I wouldn't trade it for the world, but you know, I need a little help. And as I said, a lot of people, when they call us or you reach out, you can feel sheepish about asking for help, but you're actually being proactive and you're taking charge of the situation, you know, and you're getting the help or you're getting the information that you need. And that's a good thing, right? You just got to look at it that way.
Right. Well, and you mentioned so many of the people that you've been helping, they turn around and help back. It's just how Minnesota is. You help me, and I want to help you back, and
that's right.
I want to help you more than you help me.
That's right. You get so much more out of helping than
and then getting.
Yeah.
But it's so important that we can receive that. And well, this has been great, John. I really encourage people, go to the website seniorcommunity.org. They've been around for 75 years, helping our neighbors and our communities. All right. It's the end of the show, John. I want to thank you for being here. John Burkhow, Director of Home and Tech Services at Senior Community Services, for sharing how his organization helps older adults age in place. John, how can our listeners contact you and your organization if they have questions or want more information?
Go to our website, seniorcommunity.org, or give us a call. We'll be happy to help in any way we can. And if you want to help out, we'll welcome the help too.
That's right. You're not shy about asking for help.
I am not shy about it, no.
Just like our community shouldn't be shy about asking for your guys' help.
Right.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed today's show, folks. Please contact us with any questions you have or any comments regarding today's conversation. You can reach us anytime by voice or text at 612-999-3426. Join us again next Saturday at noon for another broadcast. And thank you for listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. Until next time, please choose to live well.